Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Metallurgic for inviting here and allowing me to share my thoughts on this. So, as Andy Rosser has said that almost all mineral can be transported to a slurry pipeline. So, it's safe with that saying. Advantages, if we compare with any railroad, so pipeline can pass through any river, road, railways, and it is underground. So it will not have any disturbance because of any surface activity. Similarly, it can pass through remote locations where it's very difficult for anybody to construct a railway line, a road, or a bridge, but pipeline can easily pass. So there are many advantages if we consider any means of transportation versus slurry pipelines. Global and domestic landscape is estimated that around 14,000 kilometers of slurry pipeline network will be there globally by 2030. In case of iron ore, it's already 4,000 kilometers, which is in operation. And in India, there are 4 slurry pipelines which are in operations. 2 of MNS, Kirindul to Vizag, 267 kilometers, Laguna Paradip, DRPL 217 kilometers, and now we have commissioned a pipeline of LMEL this year. It is 87 kilometers, 10 million ton capacity. So these pipelines in operation, and there are many more which is under construction or any planning stage that will come in later slides. So these are the pipeline which are in operation. Just to highlight few things, you can see the latest pipeline which is commissioned is in this year, that is Lloyds Metals, 87 kilometer pipeline. But prior to this, there is a gap of 11 years. The last pipeline prior to this was commissioned in 2014. And then again DRPL in 2013, then there is again a gap of around 10 years. 2006, there was a pipeline which Kirindul Vizag was commissioned. So now every industry leader understand the advantages of slurry pipeline, but it takes a lot of time to build a slurry pipeline. So we will be understanding why it is so, and then what we can do to bridge that gap. But yes, it's a time taking, especially the installation of the pipeline takes a lot of time, right from ROW selection to installation, and then of course there are resistances, mostly because of it takes some of the business of surface transport like truck. So there are resistance. They do not want that pipelines to come up in their areas. That is also one of the factors what we see obstruct the slurry pipeline construction activities. These are the upcoming pipeline in various stages. Most of them are in under construction. So we are also, LMEL is planning to have a pipeline up to our Gogos plant, that is around 219 kilometers, for which we are into market for source all pipes and all. Engineering phase is almost over. And JSW, as we all know that it is under construction, it's around 310 kilometers. Rumta is also planning a pipeline 30 kilometers. Jindal, I think maybe next year they are going to commission their pipeline, a big pipeline, 18 million ton capacity, maybe capacity wise second in the world. NMDC, of course, that project is in progress, and MNS is again construction work is under. So regulatory acquisition, see, as I said that first of all, what is more important that instead of capacity planning or design planning, we should decide mostly on what kind of route we are going to select for our pipeline. So the designing route selection had to happen thinking that where the construction activities are going to be easy, not where we are going to get permissions fast. So nowadays there is a difference. Now every company thinks that we should select a route where we can get permissions very fast. But the problem is that on those routes, we will not be able to lay the pipeline fast. So our consideration has to be where we can lay our pipeline fast rather than getting permission fast. So I think almost all the companies are taking a route of parallel to a road or a PWD road or any national highways, and then planning our pipeline route. But then the fact is that you will find many habitations, petrol pumps, markets, all those areas parallel to that route. So instead that if we can plan in a cross-country way. But of course, there are challenges in that route as well, because there in India you will find a lot of ownership issues if you go cross-country, and then you have to acquire that land. This takes a lot of time. So that is one challenge what we have in execution of slurry pipelines. Secondly, it passes through eco-sensitive zone, forest clearances, and so many other things. Even if you take a road corridor of any road agency, still you have to apply. Though they have already taken the forest clearance, but still you need to reapply that and get some permission, maybe a general approval, but still you need to go to those departments and get your approval for your pipeline. Social, of course, when pipeline passes through various villages, areas, and kilometers, so all kind of disturbances will be there. They have to handle all those challenges which comes across. Again, construction challenges are there. Pipeline passes through various narrow roads, village areas. You have to take your 12-meter long pipe there. So road infrastructure may not support that way, so you may have to make some kind of temporary road for taking out your equipment and machineries along with pipes to construction activities. Clearances, as we all know, yes, it takes time. Design aspect, I think India also has covered it. I think in India, the problems what we had in our capacity wise is that definitely stop operation is also one factor which affects a lot. Normally, most of the company design their pipeline over capacity and then they do not operate to that capacity. That is also one of the issues in operation. Yeah. And then they plan for a bigger capacity, and then initial few years, 5-6 years, they operated at lower capacity. And then because they were operating at lower capacity, they were doing a lot of water patching, stop operation. That also has a negative effect. Safety, as we all know, that there are few things related to the construction safety, but there are few operational area where we need to, like if pipelines, most of the iron ore slurry pipeline are designed to have 0% of plus 150 micron particle size. You should not, as per design, you are not supposed to be pumping coarser material into the pipeline. But practically when you grind it and then you have to control all these things, almost all the slurry pipeline, if I leave except Lloyds Metals pipeline, almost all three pipeline are pumping coarser material than what was the slurry pipeline designed for. So that is again a impact. This reduces the life of slurry pipeline, and then going forward, you will have a capacity reduction. So whatever capacity you designed, you may lose some capacity out of it because of this. So this is one aspect, that if we have designed it for a certain rheology, then we should maintain that while we are operating that pipeline. Economics, I think we all understood that if at all, I mean, we are thinking a pipeline and we compare with rail, road or anything, it's a huge CAPEX requirement, but then it saves a lot of money. So the ROI, as I said, less than 2 years. Of course, as of now, whatever slurry pipeline in operation, they do not have any return water pipeline. But even if you add up a return water pipeline, still it gives a very good economics. As Andy Rao sir has said, it's in our calculation, it's around 30 paise per ton per kilometer in continuous operation, and ROI is approximately 1.5 year to less than 2 years. And I talk of Lloyds Metals. So we have commissioned a slurry pipeline this year, and then we have almost completed engineering of another 16 million ton pipeline of around 19 kilometer that we are planning to start by March, April next year. And then the same pipeline will extend to a port, will be the longest slurry pipeline in terms of length. That's what we are planning. And in our Subjagad iron ore, as of now, we are putting 10 million ton grinding pumping to our Konsari plant, but going forward, it's going to be around 26 million tons of iron ore concentrate, which will be producing and pumping to us. Thank you.